Hello everyone. In this video we're gonna make a widget that is displayed when a character with a hammer or any other instrument is looking on a building part, like when I'm looking on a basement. Then I want to see on screen how much resources I need and how much resources left to build this part of a building. Unfortunately, it's very hard to make this tutorial acceptable for anyone because everybody have its own inventory system, own resources system, own structures for resources. But I will do it for mine and hope you will be able to modify it for your needs. In my case, items has have such structure as item, which contains name, description, thumbnail, ID, and etc. And they all are stored in my data table dt items. So let's start. And first, we will do is that we will show whole building when our instrument is not equipped. For this, I'm opening building component input, and here I have not an input, just event graph. Uh, Here we already added destroying a current selected building if something is de-equipped. Also, if something is de-equipped, I have to set every building on a scene and type previewing, because when it is equipped and when we've placed a building, we're setting here, when we're placing a building, we're setting building state to building. And we need to do it back, but also we need to do it for every building, every template on the level, because we can have few blueprints of houses, like we can have 10 houses placed. And let's start. Let's create a function. um, let's call it make all buildings uh, change all buildings state to oops to and we're getting get all actors of class. Will not do that. I think, hmm, can we add a tag to a component? There's a question. Like I will open construction component, class defaults, and type here a tag. Yes. And I will add a tag to my construction component, like construction component. Here it is. Copy it. And here I'm getting get all actors of class with tag. Class will be an actor, and tag will be this one, construction component. So we will get all actors with construction component. Then for each of them, I'm getting a component by class, construction component, get uh, state. Okay, and changing its building state to will provide to new state, and it will be e build building state. Here it is. Okay, and we don't want to do it if the building is already built. If it is already built, we will not do it. Building state here is private. not not a private. Oh, yes, it's private. And let's create in construction component a new function, get uh, current state, add return node, and it will look something like this. So here, before change in building component, before building change in build state, we will get current state. Let's make it pure function. Get current state. Let's check pure, so we don't need execution node. And if it is equal to build it, and we will do this only if it's not equal to build it. Okay, now let's go to, firstly, let's go to our input. And here, when we're placing a building, we're setting to all of them state building. Okay, now, when my hammer is equipped, I'm gonna call change all building state to, and the building state will be um, if it is equipped. Let's make a select by boolean. If it is equipped, then we are changing state to building. If it's not equipped, we are changing state to previewing. That's it. Let's test it. Let's place two houses, and every one of them is in preview mode. Let's hide the hammer, and nothing happens. And nothing happens. That's because I think that this doesn't work. Maybe we have get all comp by tag. And this is empty, I think. Let's print it out. Length. Place in a house, hide in a hammer. 0, right. So adding a tag to component doesn't do anything. Tag construction component. Maybe we can add a tag programmatically in blueprint. I mean, so on begin play, we're getting an owner, and let's add a tag to it. I think it's possible. Add tag, tag, mm, set tags, and get tags, add. Okay, we don't need to set it. Get, add, and add construction component tag here. Let's test it out. I'm not very familiar with tags. Didn't work with them too much, so sorry. Let's check it. Yes, it returns true, but it doesn't change them. So this is working. This is working. Let's remove tag here. We don't need the tag for component, and return back here. So we receive our houses, getting the construction component, getting the current state. If it's not, build it. Okay, I forgot to connect pins. Here it is. Okay, I think that doesn't work because in construction component we already called set build state, which made all our components hidden. So on set preview state, we should get all the components and make them visible. So let's make a sequence. Let's get building priority and make for each in a set preview state, we're getting each priority, breaking it, making for each here, casting it to child actor component, getting child act, oh, getting actor, and set its visibility. Okay, on set building state, we're on hide components with priority. Oh, okay, no child actor, right? On set preview state, here on the component, set visibility to visible. That's all, I think. Now let's test it again. Here it is. Here I'm hiding, equipping. That's how it's displayed. Okay. Now I need to make a trace. So I'm opening building component, and on make trace, what we are doing. If we have selected building right now, then we are making a trace where to build it. And if we don't, then we will make a trace uh, to check how much resources we need. So if it is not valid, let's make a new. So let's create a new. So let's make a new line trace here. New line trace if selected building is not valid, and its start and end location will be the same. Let's just copy it, and location will be this one, and here is end location. So also we need to know on which trace channel we should trace. So let's create a new one just for buildable parts. Go to project settings, collision, and building channel is for placing a building. Let's create new trace channel called build building part detection, and by default it will be overlap, and its default response will be overlap. So now back to building component and selecting, let's refresh this node and select a build part detection trace channel. Now if we have a hit, we're breaking hit result, and all we need is hit actor from here. And we need it get component. We need it build part component. That's all we need. And for test purposes, also on build part component, for my case, I needed to know a name of a component. I will open build part. I open build part component and add here a new variable called build part name. It will be a string. By default, it is empty. And for example, for basement, this is my actor. I will type here stone basement, and on building component, let's print what we have hit. Get build part name. Okay, right now it will not work because nothing is blocking build part detection channel. So let's open build part component, and as we done previously for building component or for construction component, we will add a box component here. Add box component here, and it will, let's create add component by class. Class will be box collision, box component, I'm sorry, and its rotation scale will stay the same, and the location also. Then, okay, and we need to provide where we're gonna add it. We're getting an owner, and then we wanna get an owner and get bounds, get actor bounds. Um, Not including from child actors in my case, and setting this box collision world location. Set world location to origin, and set extents to box extent without updating overlaps. Also, let's promote it to local variable. Let's call it box collision. And it goes here. And it goes here. Next, let's get box collision and set response to all channels to ignore, and it will only block our new created channel. So set response to channel, and the building part detection channel, we will block it. And let's call addBox component in begin play. Call in addBox component. And okay, I found out that we forgot to disable collision only in some cases. One time for test purposes, we added it in begin play in construction component, and it has to be located, not the for each loop. It should be located on build part component during unbuilded state. It should be located here. So set actor enable collision will be disabled only in build state, in build part component. And target is get owner. So now for test purposes, um, self Okay, self get owner. Okay, and we disabling collision when it is unbuilded. I will enable it now just to test if box component will work. Yes, now it works. And so the issue is that we are disabling a collision for a whole actor. We don't need to do that. We need to get our owner and disable collision only for its components. So let's get components by class and static mesh component. Then for each of them, we will set collision enabled to false, to no collision. Just for now. And in case if it is builded, we'll do the same, but set collision to collision enabled. Okay, now I will disable my debug trace. I don't need it anymore. And now I will place a building. So yeah, stone basement works, but no, okay, it prints me stone basement, but it doesn't. Uh, but valid placement validation doesn't work. And why it is happening?